changes, would you then just be a female?
No, dumbass. Have you been hearing what I'm saying?
Why? But on the strict biological,
dude, do you understand that based on how I define a female and a woman, not even just me, how the medical biological community categorizes these disorders of sexual development? If I just had XX chromosomes, that wouldn't imply that I'm a female if everything else remained unchanged.
So
because, for example, on the converse, Danny, shut up and listen to the thought experiment, okay? On the converse, right? There's females, i.e. Swyer syndrome. Go look it up, dude. Just go look it up. Google it, literally. It takes 2 seconds. Swyer syndrome. It's a disorder of sexual development.
How is this engaging with what I'm saying?
Because you asked if I had different chromosomes, would I then be a female? And I'm telling you no. I'm telling you no, because just like in this other instance in nature, we already have this defined and worked out.
How do biologists...
What you thought was a problem...
Wait, don't be scared of the question. Right? How do biologists define...
Based on their sexual reproductive strategies and anatomy. You know when you differentiate... Yeah. Do you know what gonochorism is?
Talk if I'm being muted.
Have you heard? Yeah.
You're changing the subject.
If you answer the question, can you?
You're changing the subject.
I'm not changing the subject, dude. I'm staying right on subject. So please engage.
What's the question I asked?
Do you know what gonochorism is?
Yeah, I bet you're mispronouncing it.
I'll spell it out. It's GONOCHARISM. Gonochorism. Do you know what that is? Obviously not. Okay. Do you know what the malaria and the Wolffian pathways are?
I can read off a Wikipedia page too, right?
Dude, I'm not reading off Wikipedia, fuckface. Listen to the question. Do you know what the Wolffian and the Müllerian pathways are?
What does that have to do with my question?
Do you know what the bipotential gonadal ridge is?
Do you know what this has to do with my question?
Yes, I'm pointing to a specific biological phenomenon that happens during gestation, where humans differentiate, right, from either male or female according to a bipotential in their cellular structure, right? That means that it can only either go one way or another, male or female.
Yeah,
sir.
Right. Can you answer my question?
That determines, those pathways ultimately determine what kind of sexual reproductive strategies you develop.
Do you understand? Do you want my question?
Dude.
What's my question?
Those ultimately determine what sexual reproductive strategies you develop. Sometimes you develop sexual reproductive strategies that are not congruent with the chromosomes you have, for example, such that if I woke up tomorrow and had XX chromosomes, I wouldn't be a female if everything else remained unchanged. This is not a hard concept to understand.
Do you remember the question I asked you?
There's males that have two X chromosomes and there's females that have XY chromosomes. So we know that chromosomes are not the determinant.
Oh my gosh.
That chromosomes are not the determining factor in sex determination.
Do you remember what I asked you?
Yeah, you asked me, right? You asked me if I was zapped, if God snapped his fingers and I had X chromosomes.
That was not the recent question I asked. Nope, that's not what I was asking you. Try again. Okay. You weren't listening, were you?
Ask the question, fuckboy.
Yeah, pay attention this time. I asked you a combination of two statements, right? Number one, how do biologists define human female, and give me the citation?
I told you, based on the sexual reproductive strategies.
Give me the citation, dumbass.
Dude, go fucking Google it. I'm not your fucking professor, bro.
Okay, so will you accept Wikipedia?
Unbelievable, bro. So when you came out of your mother, right? Or did you come out of your father?
Came out of my mother.
You need a fucking citation. You need a bunch of white dudes in lab coats jerking off to each other, trying to tell you whether a male is a male and it's different from a female. That's what you need, Danny. Unbelievable.
If you don't remember the question,
you absolute fucking clown of a person. You're a disgrace of a professor and a teacher. You're filth to the youth. You're disgusting. I can't believe that there's people in education that spew your bullshit and your brain rot to the new generations. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, and you need to repent and come to the Lord.
You don't know what you're talking about.
You absolute brain rot, pseudo-intellectual.
Yeah, you don't know what you're talking about, right?
Great.
You tried to represent what biologists said. have to say about what female means.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
you can't actually accurately represent them. Okay?
Yeah, Danny. So tell me why. Tell me how I'm not accurately representing biologists.
Because if I look at a definition of female, all right, I'm not going to get what you just said.
Okay. Look up what sex is a person with Swyer syndrome that has XY chromosomes. Look up what sex they are.
What does that have to do with my question? I'm just looking up what.
You're a fucking dumbass. Have a great day, dude.
Yeah, loser.
What does that have to do? Just look it up, dude.